Hello, I'm Carrie Cordy. It is Sunday, February 19th, 2017. Right before I started this, I realized that I do a lot of my videos on Sundays. Well, the 19th. Yeah, I haven't worked since January 30th, and it wasn't long on the 30th. My hand is still broken, and yesterday was the first check I got from the workman's comp. I wasn't going to even talk about this, God. And I had $2, and I had $2 in my bank account for at least a week. So it gives you an idea on how I was living. If it wasn't for food stamps, I would have starved. But not truly so. Which, that statement was a bit melodramatic. The point of this video today are my other friends, who I apologize to for not really talking about your kindness to me. Because there's been other things that I've been really heavily emotionally involved with, and all of you know, close to me, and but you know, I do still listen, and I had some friends that were there for me yesterday. We had a really nice time, and it was something I really truly needed. And on top of me listening, I was able to talk too, because I've had friends where I just can't get in a word, and I needed that time yesterday because it really centered me on a lot of things. On a lot of things, it centered me. Um, I'm so used to leaning in, I'm not even holding it now. Um, so on the 15th of January, I mentioned my Jeep was impounded and I basically lost it. And it was on the 15th that I got back home to my trailer. Or, yeah, it was, yeah. So I was basically sleeping on a couch for a month. And like I've mentioned many times, there was a couple of days that when I bought my car that I used it to, maybe 3 days that I stayed here. But I want to talk about my friends whose couch they let me stay on. It was very hard, and they know this, but they are dear friends of mine that have always been there for me, and in deep, deep personal ways. And I listen to them, but in turn they also listen to me. And there's a there it's so different having cisgendered friends now. I have many transgender friends, and non-binary friends, and I need both perspectives. Having friends is so crucial. And these people opened up their home, and I gave everything I could. And even though it was hard, it was pleasant. We had our good times, and it was what you get out of life. It was something that I'm glad that I went through. That's one reason that you don't get it, your future self coming back to you. You don't know the future. It's like, oh, hey, you're going to have a place to live, but you're not going to be able to get there for a month, and you're going to be living like this quick flash of, just something that would horrify you in the moment. And, why would you want to deal with that twice? You have to live with it, but with like excitement, it's the weight to it that's just, it's so much more emotional and so draining, with, I guess, energetically, your energy. Um, some of my other friends are really big, and I was talking to one of my dear, dear transgender friends, and to other trans people that see this, when you're seeing that psychologist and they ask you that question before you go on hormones, would you ever live the other way or some variant of it? Would you go back? And they were about to take me home. We had just had dinner, a great evening, and it was just the two of us having a cigarette outside in the dark, nobody around, standing by the car. And I was surprised at how emotional I got and how emotional he got. Oh, fucking hell no. And I was like, I remember that question. And no. It's unimaginable. It's that's death. Absolutely not. And, even saying this, oh, that's death. A lot of people and psychologists would sit there and say, oh, that means you're going to kill yourself. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that I would kill myself. I know that now that I know in my head and also the difference with the chemicals in my body that now I'm getting the hormone balance that my brain was wired for on the molecular level. If I've never talked about it before, there was a university in Germany that did autopsies on trans people's brains, and they found that a female to male brain on the microscopic level has a male brain, and then the male to female on the microscopic level has a female's brain. And so when you put a hormone imbalance upon these brains, it's go read a science book, biology book, psychology book. That shit is deep. And I'm not going to get into it now, although I fucking could. But like one of my other videos is the best questions to ask. That is just the hormone imbalance. And finally, you know, I hate the cliche of, now I'm in the right body because it's, although true and very true, that doesn't encompass even close to what this is. Not even close. Not even close. I don't know how much more space I'll have on this. So if it runs out, it's just going to end, and I'll probably be in the middle of a thought. But I have a good perspective on life today. And my shit is taken care of. My rent is paid, and I have enough to fix my car. So I'll have an independence. Driving is still going to be a problem. I can do it, but if it's raining, that kind of shit, I'm not gonna drive. Uh-uh. Doesn't happen. And it's, rainy season. So I never thought I would feel as home as I do with myself. And it's not just the body, it is with myself. My mind is aligning with my body. And although I'm the same person, I don't have exactly all the same likes that I used to. Through periods in my past, I've pretended to like sports. I really don't. I could sit down and watch a game, but it doesn't matter. I understand the games. I've watched all yada yada different varieties of sports. I understand the technicalities and I can get involved with it, but my passion isn't there for it. And that's one of the survival techniques of why trans people are so smart is we have to survive, and so you learn what's okay, and so as a survival mechanism you end up learning other interests. Your passions aren't going to be there. Sometimes it looks like your passions are there, but in my case it would kind of fizzle out and I'd get bored and move on to something else. And so I was 37 years old when I not only came to terms with being transgender, but I started to tell people. And very, very few people knew right at the beginning. But wow, what a time that was coming out. But surviving is something I think everybody can relate to. Ooh, I love that. Oh, I got my new splint for my hand from physical therapy. It's really cool to watch him make that. I've been joking around that it feels like I have Batgirl's wrist brace. um, okay, so it's been like 11 minutes, so I had to finish that little thought. I was going to go somewhere else when I made it, but it's the 25th now, so it's been quite a while. So I'll just kind of stop that. I have something I want to talk about. This big. Ah!